Welcome to Infinity Reviews. Oh no! Oh my god! No, no way! Oh, it's Sabretooth! Oh, look at these fights! Hey guys, what is up? I got a chance to go see The Wild Robot, the newest Universal animated film. Going into it, I wasn't super excited to see it. I thought the trailers were really, really cute. I thought, it was looked like a really, really beautiful animated movie. And I went into this, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go see this, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go see this because I know I want to review it for the channel. And I walked out of it, I'm like, that was the most gut-wrenching movie I have seen in a long time. I absolutely loved it. I say that I loved Transformers 1 because that movie the animation was beautiful and the story was beautiful. I'm putting this, I think, is even better, in my opinion. I love Transformers, guys. I love Transformers, but this was just an emotional roller coaster. I don't usually cry when I see movies. The last time I believe I cried watching a film is when I was watching Guardians of the Galaxy 3 and saw all that stuff with Rocket. There's a moment in this film, near the end, that I cried. And I'll talk about it a bit later. But overall, what's the overall story of the film? The story of the film is, there's this robot that crashes down into this wilderness island. And, this robot's task is to help people. It's what it was designed to do. And, and then it goes on, this robot discovers this egg of this bird, and has to take care of this bird, and it doesn't really understand it, but it's like, it's kind of has to act as mother. And the story, I think the main message of this movie, is, family is not just how alike we look at each other. Family isn't just the family that's by blood. Family is by the people you make it. And that's what I think it is. It's also about like not wanting to be alone anymore and finding your purpose in the world. One of the great themes I took away from the film was do not be alone anymore. I think that was the main center of this film. It's like, being alone, it's not fun. Like not having anyone to love, it's hard and gut wrenching. That's what the film's about. And I believe my favorite character in the film, which I did not think it was going to be. It was Pedro Pascal's character. He plays the fox in the film. And, I talked about earlier, there's this gut-wrenching scene. I'm talking a little bit about the scene right here. So if you don't want to know, just click away right now. Basically what happens in the scene is that the robot, has to go away and get fixed. And, this fox character played by Pedro Pascal has become very, very attached, to this robot because everyone has always, stayed away from this fox character because they think he's a bad person. And it's kind of the first friend he ever made was with this robot. And there's this line that he says, I believe the line is he's like, I don't want to be alone anymore. And that just got me in the feels because I'm watching this. I'm like, those two, their friendship was like the entire movie. Of course it's about the robot and this goose that she takes on to be her son. But it's also about this relation with this fox who's kind of like the dad figure, but also kind of like a really good friend to both of them. And the scene is heart-wrenching, and I literally cried. This movie is great. Lupita Nyong'o as the robot was great. She did a great job, being a robot, but also showing the emotional depth to this robot. Robot that is feelings, a robot who's trying to process all these different emotions that's going through. And I think that was absolutely great, about the performance. I really, really enjoyed it. And, we also have this Goose character, who's played by Kit O'Connor. Kit O'Connor, I felt like I knew that name. I just couldn't really recognize him from anything because, it was an anime movie. But the voice sounded familiar. It was, for him, the story of his character in the entire movie is, that he is the runt. He was the one he was not supposed to make it. So now he has everything to prove to everyone, He has to prove, that he can make this great migration with the rest of his geese, even if he might not look like them, that, through his struggles, through all the limits he's been given in his life, he has more of a heart, and he works harder than anyone else And that's why, you know, we have Bill Nye come in as this, like, older goose who says, like he was not supposed to survive. But the one thing he does have is heart, determination, and that's why I believe he will make this migration, which is very powerful as well. My overall final thoughts on this movie. My final thoughts on this movie. I think the movie is, in my opinion, a 10 out of 10. The Rotten Tomatoes score does not lie on this film, guys. It does not lie on this film. It is absolutely a beautiful movie. Not just to the performances, but to the animation as well, you know. It definitely has that sense of, like, Puss in Boots: The Last Witch animation to Spider-Verse. But kind of does this cool thing, you know. There's a lot of cool, like, cinematic shots in here where, like I'm watching, like, the first time the movie turns on in the theater, there's this really, really cool shot. And I'm like, oh my gosh, how did they do that? You know, the animation, I think, was perfect for the movie. You know, it really brought, like, what's the word for it? You know, really brought, like, a light and brightness to the film that you usually don't see. You know, this is a movie, you know, a lot of movies we get today aren't, you know, really happy stories. So even if you look at Transformers, you know, that's not a happy story, you know. It's about betrayal, really. That's what Transformers is about. You know, Deadpool and Wolverine, you know, that's a fun movie, but, you know, it's about, you know, Wolverine's, like, sadness for, like, what happened to the X-Men in that film, you know. But this movie is just pure joy and happiness, you know. Because, you know, you're watching this movie and you're smiling the entire time because, you know, you love the relationships of this robot, of this fox, of this goose. All together, you know, they make a really, really family. They make a family, and that's the point. And when the robot starts to be accepted by the other animals in the forest, it is great to see. And like I said, I cried watching this movie. I cried personally, like, in the Oscars right now. My point is, I think that this movie should be in contention for a movie of the year, you know, for Best Picture. I do feel like it's going to be up for Animated Picture. Honestly, right now, I do think this is now my pick to win Animated Picture at the Oscars. I know all of you love Inside Out 2. I know you love it. But this movie will get you in the feels as much as Inside Out 2 will. I do think Inside Out 2 is probably the one to win. But I think this will hold very good competition with it. I give this movie a 10 out of 10, guys. I give it a 10 out of 10. And, you know, I think, you know, this animation movies this year are really, really doing well, you know. Not just of box office wise, but just, you know, of quality wise. You know, we got The Wild Robot. We got Transformers 1. We got Inside Out 2. Those are three great animated pictures, you know, that I've seen so far. I'm pretty sure there are some other ones I possibly saw this year, like maybe on streaming, you know, and, you know, we still have a lot of animation ahead, you know, especially in the TV space. You know, we still got Arcane coming out. We got the Devil May Cry series. We got Tomb Raider coming. You know, there's a bunch more animated films coming out this year. Moana 2 is still coming out this year, you know. Animation, I think, in my opinion, this has been one of the best years for animation. You know, I think Wild Robot just adds to this spectacular year of animation. But, guys, what do you think? The Wild Robot is now in theaters. Go see this movie. I'm telling you. Go see this movie, and it will tug on your heartstrings, guys. It will. Leave your comments down below. Like the video. And subscribe to the channel. And go check out all our other content on our channel. And I'll see you next time, guys. Peace.